Hello, welcome back everyone. This is Amy the Mystic Rose Tarot. So, surprise, this is going to be a visual tutorial. I want to focus on the court cards in relation to the astrological influences. And I was thinking as I was prepping this and writing the notes on the board, I have another dry erase board sitting next to me with more information, that I want to keep this very basic, if that is at all possible. And I have a feeling, as I was taking my notes and getting ready for this, that I have a feeling this may end up being a second part for the court cards. Court cards are 16 cards, but the information when it comes to the astrology and where I'm pulling my resources from is actually giving me more notes to add that would push me into maybe creating a second video. So hang tight for that. I'm going to see how much information I can get to everyone in this video in relation to the court cards. So I will do my best to be consistent in the order of discussing these cards, but there's so much information. I'll do my best not to go on a tangent like I'm doing right now. So with the court cards, the court cards is 16 cards within the arcana, the tarot arcana. And court cards are very interesting because we feel comfortable with our majors knowing their archetypes, their strengths, their weaknesses, and the same with the minor arcana. But when it comes to the court cards, okay, instead of dealing with archetypes and of the major arcana and the story and the journey that we see in the minor arcana, what do we get here with the court cards? Court cards are depicted in so many different ways, right, in the tarot. We see them in animal form, we see them in symbology form. They can be explained through elements or through the tools of influence. If they are cardinal, fixed, or mutable energy, which I will talk about with these court cards. So there are so many different ways to approach this, but I feel what's really important is that with these cards, this deals with the court cards, they deal more with the human psyche, okay, our characteristics, how we as individuals approach certain aspects of our lives, okay? So what I'm doing here, what I'm bringing here to the table is a general overview of how the astrology with the signs relate to these court cards. So what I want to start off here is I'm throwing influence and information from the Golden Dawn system, and I want to also emphasize that this information I have here are just guides, right? They're not laws, they're not rules, right? We have the guidebook, we have our resources. They're not set rules. So this information that I'm sharing with you, you can use loosely the way that you best feel that you can interpret in a reading, but I feel it is of importance to understand the foundation of the influence of the signs when it comes into the court cards. Okay, so remember the major arcana, we have our planets and 12 astrological signs, 10 planets, 12 astrological signs, which makes 22 cards, including the Fool. Astrology comes into play with the minor arcana. With the exception of the aces, we go from 2 to 10, and that's what we're going to talk about here very briefly. 2 to 10, and they go by the degrees, by the decans, 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30. Okay, so that's the journey, the influences that we get from The archetype are guides, and then how we work with it through the journey of the minor arcana. Core cards are again, the characteristics, the human psyche, those forces of how we deal with different situations. Okay, so I have here our 4 aces. I was thinking about moving the cards up and down, but the focus on this camera will just go bonkers, and I've just learned just to point to the cards, and I think you could get a good idea with what I'm saying in relation to these cards. So we have our aces. This is the Guild Tarot, and so with our aces we're looking at beginnings, right? So we're looking at seasonal changes. Okay, here with our Ace of Wands or Fire, okay, we can relate this either to spring or summer, but sticking to the Golden Dawn system, I want to focus more on the summer energy, which is where we're at right now. Okay, and I'm going to make reference to these in a moment. So our Ace makes reference to the signs of the summer: Cancer, Leo, and Virgo. And then we have our Ace of Cups. Okay, so here with our Ace of Wands, potency, movement, energy, so on and so forth. Ace of Cups, beauty. This is more relating to inner beauty. And this, this is almost like a flip of a coin in your perspective of how you feel about having cups to represent the fall season. Because cups are water signs, but here we have our 3 signs that welcome in the fall. So I want to change the perspective and have us focus on this energy with the aces in a seasonal manner. Okay, so with cups we have Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius for fall. So this is the inner beauty, and this is actually very interesting because Libra does deal with relationships, creating balance, harmony. Scorpio, being that water sign, deals with the intensity and desires that we have within ourselves. Sagittarius is a mutable sign, and it's fire. So we have here cardinal, fixed, and mutable. Here cardinal, fixed, and mutable. So we have with these signs here for fall and for summer, we're seeing the 3 characteristics of energy and how they are used during this time of the year: Scorpionic energy, Sagittarius energy, and Libra. Our swords, okay, we are looking at winter, okay, and what we have here is our energy. Okay, so we have our movement, we have our inner beauty, and then we have our energy of the mind. And what I find interesting for this placement for our Ace of Swords with Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces, again, cardinal, fixed, and mutable for the winter season, and it being associated with the Ace of Swords, is that it's the intellect. Okay, things start slowing down in the fall. Okay, so this is a time where this energy starts becoming a little bit more inward. Fall, I feel, is the time of the healing. It's of, time to start looking inward. Start, reflecting back. Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, winter. You would think that's the kind of energy that you would be doing for reflection and doing inward work. I feel this time of the year of winter is a time to start preparing for spring. So our Ace of Swords is this energy of thinking, intellect. We're moving forward. Aces are all forms of moving energy, but it's placed in these different elements and how we are utilizing it. So the winter months is this time that we start getting ready for our spring season. So there's a lot of thought, there's a lot of thinking, there's a lot of planning. Capricorn is ruled by Earth, and it is Saturn influence. So there's that discipline, there is that need to put things in order. Aquarius is a fixed sign. Aquarius is air, and so they are ruled by Uranus. So this is things of being more innovative, being more creative in that sense. What can we do? What can we do that we've already done and take it to another level? Okay. Pisces here, again, mutable. Okay. And we are looking at a sense of where we're still in the subconscious, but it's time to start revealing. Okay. During the winter months, there's a lot of turning around of energy at that time, but it's a time that the reflection that we've done in our fall months, and as we get ready for the winter months, this is where Pisces can become spiritually creative. Okay, all this reflection again, introversion that's been taking place in the previous season is now starting to take shape. It's starting to show some spiritual outlet. It's almost a form of revealing. Okay, and then we have our Ace of Pentacles, or Ace of Coins here, which is wealth. Okay, so Earth, we're dealing with things of investment, self-care, things that are of value, very, very important for Pentacles or coins. So the wealth is how we view. What have we been putting our energy towards? And this is in the spring. So we have Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. Aries cardinal, Taurus fixed, and Gemini mutable. So during the springtime, all this preparing, all of this way of seeing things in a different way, being creative and in a spiritual way. And what I mean spiritual creativity is everything that has been churning inside of us has been influencing us, and we are learning more about ourselves, and something will come that will inspire a creative spurt. And spiritually, that is a release. It could be a way that you're seeing things, the way that you're feeling things, the way that you've been doing things, but it has shifted. So at this time of spring, we're looking at all of this energy, all this work that we've done in the previous season starting to manifest. Okay, so with our Ace of Coins, this influence for spring, especially for Aries. Aries is that movement. Remember, it's fire. They take charge of things. So once all these energies have been worked through and the influences are starting to come by and that inspiration is coming, now it's time to take charge. Taurus comes in the time of while this energy is moving, this potency or this energy of moving forward is coming, how we can be more of a grounding nature with that energy. Okay, it's not stopping this energy of Aries. It's how are we molding it? How are we creating a foundation with this energy? What's the direction that we are setting it towards? Okay, where is our focus of value at this time? And then of course Gemini is, once we understand these two influences of Aries and Taurus during the spring season. And Gemini, it's how we communicate. It's partnerships. It's finding a like-mindedness. What's a commonality that we can take during the spring season based on the work that we've done? Okay, doesn't mean that everything that we've been working on is going to happen in this order. It may take many springs, it may take many winters, it may take many falls, many summers, to get to certain to make like a few steps forward in what we're working towards. But just keep in mind of the seasons with the aces, because I feel it's very important. Okay, and I forgot to talk a little bit about Cancer, but I think you have the same idea. Cancer is of the emotions, it is nurturing, it is intuitive energy. Cardinal, Leo is the fixed sign. As of the time of me recording this, we're going to be entering into the sign of Leo in a few days. So this is, for me, Leo, especially in this season of summer, this is the ultimate bang. How are we going to end our summer? It's a very extroverted sign. It's a very outgoing sign. It's a very proud sign and a courageous sign. So this is the energy that we take. It's like it's quite opposite from Cancer energy, where everything is more reserved and thinking and feeling about things at a deeper level. But here comes Leo. Leo's like, okay, let's do this. You know, you spent that time of being of emotional support to yourself and possibly to others, and now it's time to be more outward and express yourself with people. Show emotionally how you feel. Virgo, mutable sign. Virgo is earth, and so we are looking at all of these influences of the intellect, being practical, being very straightforward. It's Virgo can be known as being overthinkers, but I think what can really help Virgos to lessen that way of using their mind is just keep things very simple. Okay? Virgos work better when they have all the information that they need and just going with it. Okay? They have to be very particular about things, and need to feel that security that what they're hearing, the information that they're getting, is going to be of great use for them, so that they can be of a productive nature. So, but if everything's coming at Virgo in so many different directions, it's overwhelming. It's almost a little bit Libra-like. It could overwhelm them. Libra tends to go back and forth sometimes for making decisions, but with Virgo, if there's so much information coming to them, they need to stop and just let that information sit in their brain so that they could break it down and decipher what, you know, the information that they got, what is of great importance to them. Okay, so those are just the aces. The aces basically represent our seasons, but here the seasons are seen a little bit differently through the Golden Dawn system. Okay, so again, Ace of Pentacles or coins are for spring, Ace Swords for our winter months, Ace of Cups for fall, and Ace of Wands for our summer months. The ones that tend to be swapped is the Aries, Taurus, Gemini will be seen more for wands, and these here would be more for like during the fall seasons for the swords. Pentacles tends to be more for winter, typically, because it is of grounding, it is of things that we are planting and getting ready for the spring season. So Pentacles tends to represent more of the winter season because it's things that we are taking in from the harvest, replanting, and getting ready for the spring season. And Cups normally is summer, I guess because of the sign of Leo and this energy of everything being more emotion based and whatnot. But I feel the Cups could relate maybe a little bit more for the fall. So this here would be more for me, I feel, for Cups. But here for understanding the basics, let's just go with the wands for the summer: Cancer, Leo, Virgo; fall, so on and so forth; winter, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. And if you're used to interpreting the seasons in a different way, explore doing this. Explore switching the seasons and placing the signs accordingly. And pull out these aces and see how the aces that you have in a deck that you work with, and just see how they relate, because you may take a different perspective. And that's why I want to introduce this to everyone, a different way of using astrology, understanding that the signs don't necessarily have to be set in stone for the seasons. Okay, so I'm going to remove these aces. I want to show you the princess, because the princess or the page tends to be associated with the aces, right? The aces is the beginning of, again, new seasons, a new endeavor, a new way of seeing things, feeling, new projects. But here, those aces get personified. So we have our princess, who is, we could say, the person who is learning, the person who is ready. Okay, aces is time to take action. So is the princess. So is the page. They are ready to learn. They are ready to make their move and to explore. So with our princess of fire, or princess of wands here, we see, I am going to have to move this so you can see the card here. We have transformation. Okay, they're ready to take that action. Cancer, Leo, Virgo, summer months. Okay, wands, movement, energy, taking initiative on getting things going. This is the time of shape-shifting. With our princess of cups, okay, we're going into our fall months. I'm going to move this so you can see the keywords a little bit better. Evolution. Okay, so with transformation and evolution, okay, this is the season that we're in right now, summer. Everything's moving around, and I've been using the word transformation quite a bit with myself and with a few other people, because things are shifting around. So once we have this time of transformation in the fall, we do that energy, and we do it internally. Okay, remember I was saying about the fall season, things start becoming a little bit more inward during this time of the year. So our princess is recognizing the changes that are going on. You are basically shape-shifting at this point from anything that has been moving around inside you. Okay, have you ever had that feeling when you're like, I know something's right around the corner, something is happening, there's a change, there's a shift that is happening, and you feel it. And once that experience has happened, then the growth starts taking place. That's where we get the evolution. Our princess here, our princess of swords. Okay, so we're going from transformation, evolution, to control. Okay, so now this energy is moving in a focused manner. Okay, we have the emotional, spiritual evolution of the princess or the page. Got the transformation of the wands, but here we have all that energy coming into one. And I like this. It's like you're bringing all this energy. You have the sword, and you're just holding it. You're holding it by the base, and you're like drawing that energy inward. Okay, so this is all of taking charge during the winter months. Things are clear during the winter months, in the sense that things aren't moving, things aren't fiery, things are still. And I feel that movement or that environment of stillness allows the brain and the mind and the intellect to think in a clearer fashion. Everything slows down. Kinetic energy, everything around you slows down. So you can put that emphasis. It's like, okay, things are still. Now I can start putting things in the direction that I wanted to, as I was mentioning about the aces, the Ace of Swords for the winter months. Okay, so this is all focus, discipline, our inner spirituality. What's happening during this winter months? We're taking charge of it, and then of course our Princess of Pentacles or of Coins. Transformation, evolution, control. What's going to happen next? Growth. Okay, relating to spring. We're going to start doing the work. This is more of the external aspect of the Princess. It's like taking all of these forces. These are almost, if you think about it, different stages that the Fool goes through. Like this is, I feel, what's happening with the Fool's energy. Transformation, evolution, control, and growth. But the Fool has been personified into 4 different characters. Page, Princess, Knight, Prince, King, and Queen. This is the different stages of growth, maturity, youth, adult, and elder, if you will. So we're seeing these early stages here take place with our page or princess during these times of the year. And as I'm discussing this, and the more that I look at my notes, I feel that these seasons and the placement of these signs work very strongly for this time, for those times of the year. Okay? So remember, the fiery energy of Wands makes sense for summer. Cups, introvert, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius. We slow down that energy. Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. We have the stillness. Now it's time to start thinking. And then we start doing. Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. We start putting things into action. We start investing into what is important to us, and expressing it outwards with other people. For Gemini, communicating, finding people that are of great and share the same interests, that are like-minded for that process that you've been going through. Okay, so that is the breakdown of just the princess. The aces I want to put in because I do feel that they are showing these different stages here. Potency, transformation for fire, beauty, the inner beauty that we can cultivate within ourselves with the Princess of Cups, evolution. Okay. These are both moving signs. This one's more external, outward. This is internal movement, inward. And then, of course, the movement of the mind, the energy of the mind, control, taking charge. And then the wealth, the investment, what is of great importance to us. Where are we putting our time and our resources for our Princess of Pentacles or Coins? Okay. Alrighty, so I'm going to put these down. I'm going to bring in the other board that I'm just going to place right over. So actually, let me do this. So I'm going to put this downward. So I can prep for the other one. I know I should edit this, but I think this will be fine. Okay, so the one thing I do have to emphasize, and I have to be mindful of this, I'm using the Guild Tarot, so it uses it uses the prince as the knight instead of the prince as the king in the Doff Tarot. Okay, so you can, those are interchangeable, but I will be mindful of that. Okay, so here comes, oops, here comes our next board. I really enjoy this. I really enjoyed the blackboard. I do not like the lighting though on this. So let me see if I can flatten this out here a little bit. Let's see if I can move it. Okay, I'm going to just change our light a little bit here. Okay, I think that's fine. Okay, so for the court cards here, that actually isn't good because it doesn't do justice for, let me see if I could do this. There we go. All right, still not showing up here very well. So I'll do the best I can. So here, as I mentioned, our prince in the Guild Tarot is representative of the knight, and the king in the Guild Tarot at the top is representative of the king in the Doff Tarot. So if you are following with the Doff system, that's totally fine. But here I'm going to be working with the Guild Tarot. Let me see here. There we go. Okay. So the next step, I'm going to try and do this in a somewhat clear but quick fashion. Now here we have our knights, queens, and kings. Okay, so we've already done the pages or the princess. But what's different here is we have the elemental relationship of these cards. Okay, so here for the prince, I'll move this over, or let's see here. Okay, for our King of Wands, okay, we have Sagittarius. King of Cups, Pisces. King of Swords, Gemini. And King of Pentacles, Virgo. And so what's happening here is the kings are mutable. And there's been some ways of people trying to figure out what, I'm sorry, this is our knights. My apologies, knights. These are our kings. There's been some debate to decide if the knights, cardinals, fixed signs, if these signs are actually in their set characteristics. Okay, so mutable, the mutable signs are Sagittarius, Pisces, Gemini, and Virgo. Cardinal signs are Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn. Okay, they represent the beginning of the seasons. Here, mutable, they relate to the transition between the seasons. And the fixed signs are the signs that are actually going towards the end of a season. And so sometimes here, like for the kings, for example, they can sometimes be considered more of the cardinal, but I feel the way that I've been understanding the astrology with the court cards, I'm feeling like the cardinal placements, like the ones that get the initiators, come more from the queen. And the fixed are the kings, because the kings, it's very patriarchal, you know, it's the way that they have things set, it's, you know, it's the way that it's almost becomes, it's law, it's set in stone. And so that energy of the king tends to be the one that closes everything. It's all done. What I have here is with our knights, I should put a KN there so I can remember it's knights. We see here aspiration. Okay. And so they are also associated with fire. So our Knight of Wands, or our Prince of Wands, is fire for fire, because Sagittarius is a fire sign. Our fire for water, our Knight or Prince of Cups, is Knights again, fiery energy, mutable, its movement, is fire for water. Prince or Knight of Swords or air is Gemini. So that would be, again, Knight's movement, mutable signs, fire for air, and then, of course, fire of earth, King of Pentacles, or I'm sorry, Knight of Pentacles, Virgo. I'm going to go through these quickly because I see I am going to be running out of time, and I will extend this next time around to go into more detail about the dates that each of these court cards rule, because they do rule 20 degrees of one sign into the next. So I wrote here, just as reference, our fire of fire, our aspiration, our Knight of Wands rules Sagittarius, so it's from November 13th to December 12th. And then I wrote down the first few decan cards that they rule: Seven of Cups, 8 and 9 of Wands, for that Knight of Wands, fire for fire. Those are the decan cards for the Knight of Wands. Okay, but again, I will go into that in a separate video so that we can have the dates that are attributed to the court cards, and briefly just go through the decans that those court cards are associated with. Because this 20 to 20 degrees, one sign follows into the next sign, they take also the last like 20 to 30 degrees of the previous sign. Okay, so what we have here is we see a little bit of a jumping back of these signs where they hold in attributes, like here for the Knight of Sagittarius, they're going to take in the 20 to 30 degrees of Scorpio, because we're still in Sagittarius here from that Scorpio. That's where the Seven of Cups comes in, and the 8, 9 of Wands represents the last two decans from 0 to 10, 10 to 20 of Sagittarius. Okay, I'm going on a tangent, I can feel it already. So here, okay, with our Knight, we're seeing aspiration. Okay, that movement, that energy. So we've moved from that princess or page of energy. Now we're seeing the confidence, we're seeing the movement. Okay, all the knights here, or the princes, or the prince cards, we're seeing the action taking place in the element or tool that they are associated with. Okay, you've done the thought process, you've done the transformation, you've done the evolution. Now we put it into action. Okay, so with our Knight of Cups, we see Pisces. This is Sagittarius, Pisces. Here we have Gemini, using the mind. And Knight of Pentacles or Coins, construction. Remember I was saying about Virgo, we're putting things into order. Okay, we're being practical with the knowledge that we have. How as a Virgo would you approach the construction or the building of something? You want to start very simple. You don't want to start chaotic. You want to, maybe you have a chaotic mess, but you can somehow take that chaos and find what is best needed to start using what is going to allow you to construct whatever you're working towards, relationship, business, even yourself. What are the things that you are going to use that will get you on the right path? Okay, this is what we have here with the Prince of Earth, or Knight of Earth. Okay, and the same here with the Knight of Swords. Okay, this is fire of air, fire of earth. Remember, mutable is movement. Movement of the emotions. How are we feeling? Where are we putting this emotional energy outward? But in a creative manner, not something destructive. And then what inspires you? Inspire. Aspire to be. Inspire and aspire. What have you seen that has just inspired you, that is fueling you to just go outward and make it happen? Be the change you want the world to see, right? Okay, so here, let's go with our king or our queen. Sorry, I will stop doing that. So cardinal, through the Golden Dawn system, mutable is fire signs, cardinal is water sign, fixed signs are air signs. Well, not air signs, but the element of air. Here we have our Queen of Water. This would be our water for fire. Queen of Cups, Queen of Wands, reflection. Okay, so once we've gone through the mutable stage, we are now seeing what has been processed, right? Remember our key word before? Aspires. Inspire to aspire. Now we look back and see what has taken into shape. What has formed, what has manifested. And we look back on that with the Queen of Water, or Queen of Fire. Our Queen of Cups, contemplation. Where were we before that? Creativity. So we're seeing this moment of just seeing what has transpired. How are we feeling about what has taken shape? Remember here, this individual, he's working with the cup. The cup is the vessel that rules the emotions, the intuitiveness. Now this individual is holding it. It's seeing the beauty and the love that was put into it, nurturing it. The cup is the vessel of the emotions, and I love here how we have the full moon in the backdrop. Queen of Swords, Libra, water for air, water for water, water for fire. Water is the feminine energy. So we have reason. Okay. Where were we beforehand? Action. It's the moment that we hold still the tool or the source that we began to work with during the page princess stage. And it's gone through the actions of the night to get to these stages here. This is our Queen of Swords. Water for air. Then we have here Queen of Coins, Queen of Pentacles. Remember the wheel? Okay. What have we constructed? Where have we put that energy towards? We sit down. We feel rooted and connected at that moment. Because we've done the work, we've done the discipline, we've stayed on our path. Okay, astrologically, Queen of Pentacles, Capricorn, Queen of Swords, Libra, Queen of Cups. We can sort of go back and forth with this. It could be Cancer or Scorpio. Normally it's associated with Scorpio, but with the Golden Dawn system, it places it with Cancer. I will leave that choice up to you, whichever you want to use. It may come in, even though the Golden Dawn has the placement for Cancer, you may feel in a reading that it may hold more Scorpio energy. And I tend to lean a little bit more with Scorpio with the Queen of Cups or Queen of Water. The Queen of Wands, water for fire, Aries. This is the person that has been of inspiration. They've done the work. They've directed and focused their energy towards what they had fully aspired to. All right, so I'm going to wrap it up here with our King, and like I said, I will have to continue this another time so we can go into the decans and go into a little bit more detail about that. All right, so the fixed signs are air. Now, I can sort of go back and forth with this. I can almost say some people associate the fixed signs with the queens and the cardinal signs with the kings. That's entirely up to you. Okay, again, use it as a guide when you're doing a reading. Where do you feel this energy is coming in the most? Okay, so I'm going to slide this over here a little bit. So with our fixed signs, for instance, our King of Wands or King of Fire is Leo. Leo is that fixed sign. And decan-wise, Four of Cups, because they carry in that energy from Cancer, that last decan of Cancer, and they represent the 5 and 6 of Wands, which rules Leo. And we are for this month, or for the upcoming month, it's July 12th to August 11. That's a 20-degree sign from Cancer into Leo, 20 to 20, that rules this quadrant here, this King of Wands Leo. 7 to 12, 7-12 to 8-11. Each of these cards here, as I put some other dates here, will represent a different time frame. So that's again something that I want to talk about in a separate video. Okay, so now we have the innovator. What do we have with the Queen? These two are energies that we all have within us. We all have our masculine and feminine energy. So we have the reflection. Okay, King is more outwardly energy, so now we have the innovation with the King of Wands. And that's air for fire. Fixed signs are associated with air, according to the Golden Dawn. King of Cups. Contemplation. There's a lot of shuns in this deck, but that's totally fine. Inspiration. King of Cups is granted the sign of Scorpio, according to the Golden Dawn. But I feel, me personally, I would flip it around. Okay, again, it's totally up to you. So that's air of water. Our King of Swords, intuition, which is air of air, which is kind of interesting because it's associated with Aquarius. And I'm not saying Aquarius is that air sign, but Aquarius we really don't see as intuition, but the perspective that we could take with this card here. Okay, Aquarius is also seen as the healer. They're coming more from a humanitarian perspective. They want to see the greater good of everyone. But where that comes from is a different way of viewing things. The perspective, seeing outside of the box of the way that people normally see things. So you can almost say that, you know, it could be a form of following their instinct, but I really don't want to use the word intuition so much for Aquarius, especially with this air of air, because the beauty of this card is we're seeing the action that's taking place. Okay, we have innovation, inspiration, and intuition, but I would say this is probably more of like being direct. This is the worldly transformer. This is the person who has their views and they want to use their views to change the way that a group of people sees things, and they use it by their ideas. And their ideas are very unique. As I mentioned, Aquarius thinks outside of the box. So the more outlandish Aquarius is with their ideas, they attract a very unique group of people towards them that understands what they're saying. Here, our King of Pentacles, King of Coins is air for Earth. It's Taurus. Okay, and I feel this is a good placement for this sign. So the only, I will explain this in a moment, but before I forget, the only conflict that we could have is just the Cancer-Scorpio relationship. So I feel these two can be mixed up. King of Cups could be Cancer, Queen of Cups could be Scorpio, vice versa. Okay. Here our King of Earth. We have conception. What we had here before was nurture. Okay. And we see a globe that's being held. Okay, remember, these are characteristics that we all have. The page, princess, knight, prince, king, queen. These are different stages of growth for human evolution, spiritually, emotionally, physically. Okay. And if you notice here, we're all facing a direction too with these, the king cards. Yeah, the queen seems to be facing they're facing forward. Yeah, the Queen of Swords and Fire are facing profile. But the King, they're all facing one direction. It's profile, but they're all facing in the same point of view. And so we're sitting upright, we have that confidence, we have reached all the actions that were needed to do to get to this point. Okay, so we have our Knight of Pentacles. This is completion. We have seen everything that we were manifesting. We took care of it. We did the right thoughts, we did the right actions, and we put it out there and we let it grow. We took care of it, we nurtured it, we managed it, and we got the outcome of it. This is the stability, the conception, the idea, the view that we had, the belief in ourself, and sticking to it. All was worth the work. So that's what we have here. King of Coins, King of Pentacles, King of Swords, Heir of Air, Heir of Earth, Heir of Water, King of Cups, Scorpio, Cancer, King of Fire, or Wands, Air for fire. Air is the intellect, how we process our thoughts that went into all of these different steps to get to where we are at that mature level. Some of us, we could be older. Kings represent maturity, a sense of finality. Some of us may be at the age, if you will, of being a mature adult, but we may still be stuck maybe in the prince, maybe the princess. You know, we still haven't fully reached those levels yet. So it's all a journey. It all takes time to go through all of this. And using these astrological influences into these court cards are wonderful guides to help us understand how we can use the elements and influences of these signs. Capricorn is the working sign. Traditional, restrictive, very dedicated. Taurus is the worker. It's all about investment. Aquarius, again, is the idealist. The worldly transformer is the Aquarius, the healer. Leo, very proud of what has been accomplished. They rule from the heart. They have strength and courage. Aries, the go-getter, start getting things done, moving forward. Cancer, Scorpio, right? Different forms of emotions, nurturing, intuitive, but also desire. Something that's really emotionally moving you inside. Libra, balance, right? We're looking at putting harmony in things, harmony with others. What can we do to make someone feel better? Queen of Swords. And fairness. And then Virgo, being practical with our choices and our decisions, not overthinking. Gemini, communicating, finding that like-mindedness. So King of Swords, King of Pentacles, our King of, or I'm sorry, I keep doing this again, our Knight of Pentacles, Knight of Swords. Knight of Cups, Pisces, creativity. Okay. Where are we moving from? Again, here the Knight are the Prince, is the Prince for the Guild Tarot. And then for Sagittarius, what do we aspire to? What is of motivation for us? What can we find for that? Okay, so there you have it, a little bit over an hour going through the court cards. So I will, when I have some time, go more into the specifics of the dates of each of these court cards, where they rule, and the cards that are associated with them. Okay, so that will come up sometime soon. I do have some other work that I need to do at this moment, but I leave this video here with you. If you have any questions, I know there is a few moments where I got the confusion here. These are knights here for mutable, cardinals, queen, and the kings here are fixed. If you see that this is different for you, feel free to let me know in the comments and give me some feedback why you feel that these should be changed, or why Scorpio should be more with the queens and Cancer should be with the King of Cups. You know, give me your feedback on that. All right, so I hope this was informative for you and it provided some insight towards working a little bit with the court cards. And again, if you are interested in me doing a course, creating a Tarot Astrology course, let me know. I'd be more than happy to set something like that up, because I really enjoy this whole process of learning. And so again, you know, again with the Golden Dawn system, these are guides, they're not rules, they're not laws, they're ways that you can approach the court cards, or any of the other cards if you do follow the Doth system, but apply that way of thinking from the Golden Dawn and transferring it into the tarot and bringing in the astrology. It adds so much more into the readings. It's quite wonderful. You also have to be careful the kind of decks that you work with, because some of these decks may not transfer well over for astrology and tarot. So we have to look at decks that could, when it comes time for doing readings, that you're able to understand the associations of the astrology with the court cards. And when you do a reading, you can smoothly relate the information to the querent of why Leo is important and as a King of Wands in a reading, or the Queen of Cups, Cancer, Scorpio is important in a reading. It just adds more depth into it. Alrighty, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy this. Let people know of this channel, like, subscribe, and again, just give some feedback about how you feel this association with the court cards and astrology is for you. Again, I will have another part for you as we go specifically with the dates of the court cards and what they rule in relation to the decans. Okay, thank you again. I will be seeing you again soon.